it up, yeah. Use it up, yeah. Use it up, yeah. Use it up, yeah. Like the cool blue light, 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 like the cool blue light.
emergency stereophonic sound for the home is recorded on 2 separate tracks, each one giving special emphasis to certain sections of the orchestra, as heard from those positions. Now, when played back simultaneously on 2 separate systems, the sounds are blended together to achieve a new dimension in sound impossible to obtain in a monaural recording.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's cast of Sacramento State League of Legends. I'm sure you're all very excited to watch some gameplay here today. Unfortunately, University of Northern Colorado is a little slow getting into the lobby, so we're going to give it about 10 minutes here, and we are slated for a 3:10 p.m. game start time, so stick around.
like the cool blue light, 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 like the cool blue light.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome back to today's coverage of Sacramento State Esports, where today we're taking on the University of Northern Colorado's, I believe it's Golden Esports.
Yes.
Fans coming through for both of these teams. We've got Northern Colorado on blue side starting off today's match, and Sac State on red side. First bans for these two teams, it's going to be Jinx banned away from Venti, and Swain banned away from Space Cowboy. Got that following up with a Caitlyn ban. That's pinching the normal 80 carry pool down pretty far from what we see. In pro play, you usually see these two 80 carries as well as Zeri and Aphelios favored very, very heavily. Usually Caitlyn and Zeri banned out on red side, and then Jinx and Aphelios is often traded. So we'll see. Zeri is up. Venti's not known to be a particularly big Zeri player, but it is available if he decides to go that route. Also the Aphelios that he looked towards very frequently last week.
Lots of options. Ooh.
First pick Aphelios on blue side. So now, like I was saying, this pinches the 80 carry pool down very heavily, and Sac State, of course, banning Ezreal away. You know, that's not doesn't leave you with a lot of options.
Yeah, if we're looking for a hyper carry, scaling hyper carry, most of those are off the table. I think, we were talking last week about seeing maybe a little bit more aggression, a little bit more skirmish heavy drafting from Sac State. I think Tristana is kind of the pick that's going to let them do that.
And he had such an incredible game on it, Venti did back in week 3 against, I believe it was Weber State. Put up a huge, I believe it was 13-0 and 12 performance on the Tristana. Bambo going to get himself his signature Hecarim in response as well. So maybe attacking Venti's champion pool, not the best call. The man is pretty deep.
Oh no, we've had 5 ADC bans in some games, and he's still found a way to succeed. The Connor Speedwagon patent pick, Zoom Horse, gonna be dashing around the rift at who knows illegal speeds. Just gonna probably acting as a little bit of a Venti simp here, and hopefully getting that Tristana ahead early.
Definitely. And Zyra is actually going to be the answer. This is so unorthodox for Northern Colorado. They typically look toward a melee, roam heavy sort of support for Space Cowboy, and they kind of leave Simeon down there on an island to just farm up on stuff like the Lucian. So this is, or Lucian and Ezreal, this is a very different look for Northern Colorado, coming at Sac State with a very lane dominant, strong laning bot lane. Very vulnerable bot lane to be sure as well. No dashes available or anything like that. Not a whole lot of survivability built into the kits of either Zyra or Aphelios, so could possibly be in a lot of danger if the pick here for Garrett is a melee support, which I expect it to be. And there's the Nautilus locked in. And now these look like some really, really easy tower dives bot lane if Zyra and Aphelios ever slip up and give over lane priority.
Oh yeah, if the Colorado jungler does not look to play on the bot side, probably expect that to happen just on repeat. Zyra, one of those mage supports that's really just kind of looking to scale, get gold, potentially even siphon side waves to kind of get 1 or 2 items, usually Leandries, potentially like Rallies or Merlonomicon, just to act as a major source of grievous wounds and really look to throw all the abilities out, die, and hopefully kill somebody.
For sure. And then we didn't talk about this Poppy pick too terribly much. It's pretty solid into what Sac State has drafted thus far. It can cancel the Nautilus hook if it lands onto the Poppy or somebody standing close to her while she has the Steadfast Presence on. And then obviously going to be getting plenty of value out of the Hecarim and Tristana jumps. The Hecarim E actually can be canceled by Steadfast Presence, as can the ultimate. And then, or no, he's unstoppable in that, pardon me. And then the Tristana jump can most certainly be canceled by the Steadfast Presence. So could be potentially a little tricky to play around.
Definitely Poppy, assuming that is a top. It may be jungle. I'm not too sure if opting into a jungle Poppy against the Hecarim is the move, or if it's even viable still.
I've seen it in a pro play. You definitely see Poppy jungle over top lane almost always, and it is a decent presence. But I think in a game like this, a lot of the power of the Poppy pick, especially like B3, like they've opted for it here, is you have that flex potential where it can go jungle or top. You're not too sure, so you can kind of double down on picking something early that your top laner could potentially pick, and then, your opposing team's top laner has to kind of be scared of both the Poppy and what could potentially be picked as well. As a Victor, nice, stable, high damage mid laner going to be picked up for XP.
Ooh, that has to be jungle.
I would imagine so.
Viego
See, so now between these two champs, you're definitely more likely to see Viego in the jungle and Poppy going up into the top lane. But blind Poppy is kind of sus. I will say that. They reveal that, you know, their blue side, so they're forced to reveal where this Poppy is going in this round of picks here. And Justin is going to be able to get counterpick for himself up into the top lane regardless.
Yeah, Justin has a lot of flexibility. The draft for Sac State's already pretty well rounded as far as damage composition. I mean, Hecarim does a little bit of both. Victor's so much magic, so much physical off Tristana. Hecarim and Nautilus alone are a pretty good front line. So I mean, looks like we're going to see a little bit more engage front line from Justin in this game.
Covering the Malphite currently. I'd like to see him on something a little bit more self-sufficient than the Malphite. Malphite, okay, yeah, more perfect.
The classic.
Perfect.
This does skew the damage more towards magic.
They are very AP heavy topside for sure.
It's definitely fine because Mordekaiser tends to go that Riftmaker. It just has so many sources of damage and sustain. Victor likes to go Shadow Flame or like Void Staff early. Plus, forcing the itemization for MR is actually, I feel like, pretty difficult for a lot of these champions except for like Poppy. Viego could potentially go the like Maw of Malmortis, but then you can't go like Divine Sunder Sterix Gauge. Plus, it lets Venti just kind of rip through them with AD. So I like leaning towards AP.
Classic blunder you can make in draft is drafting, you know, your entire top side one form of damage. They've saved it for the most part with Hecarim still doing mostly physical, even though there is some magic damage in the kit. You know, you just make it so that the jungle top just buy Mark Treads, and then you just don't do damage to them for the entire rest of the game. It can be a huge bummer. Not quite falling into that yet, but their top side is definitely very AP heavy. I think it should work out just fine for them, however. I like Sac State's draft so much better than what we had been seeing last week, even with Venti pinched so far down into his pool, having to pull out the Tristana again. This comp, I really like when Sac State puts Garrett on the go button, on a melee engage support that can roam around and influence the map. I really like having XP on something stable. I like Connor having something that dives and can play make and can follow up on the Garrett engages, and then Justin on something that is self-sufficient. You know, when you don't require something out of your top laner, it makes it so much easier to do that job. Like last week, we saw a Bard game and a Tom Kench game out of Garrett, which are these champs that just don't have that kind of go button that I'm talking about, where we normally see him on like Thresh, Leona, and Nautilus, right? And so that forces Justin into needing to pick things like the Malphite that he played in game 1. And I don't recall what his game 2 was actually, but you know, it forces him onto these picks, so to speak, in matchups where they may not be ideal because the rest of the comp just mandates that they get that out of their top laner. And I think this is just so much easier to play this way.
I think Justin was Ornn. In the previous week. Yeah, I think so.
So same thing
that was
there.
when they swap where he played mid and I played top.
Right.
Lane swap. But yeah, I totally agree. Having Garrett be the main go button, the shot caller with that green light is definitely the move. The team definitely seems to follow up on his calls. It might be just some comms issues. Maybe they haven't practiced too much with having some other people be the playmakers. So going back to this kind of comp is what I like to see.
Yeah, definitely. Then also your top laner is not, you know, if your comp mandates something out of your top laner, if your top laner is your only form of engage and that's all your team does is 5v5 team fight, then what do you do fighting around Dragon when top has no TP? You can't just give every drag against, you know, teams that outscale you or whatever, which was often the case last week. In this case, your comp functions so well just as a 4-man unit on that bot side around the Dragon contest and things like this. It's a lot easier to play. I like this draft very much out of Sac State. We didn't talk about
very good.
Colorado's too terribly much. It's a little wonkier. The bot lane is kind of what I'm looking at as the odd man out. And obviously they picked it first, and it's pretty inflexible drafting something like Zyra Aphelios that early. There's zero protection for the Aphelios. Going to be incredibly difficult to position against this, you know, Tristana jumping on you, Hecarim jumping on you, getting Mordekaiser ulted, whatever. Like, the only protection really is Steadfast Presence. But you almost have to have Poppy far away from your Aphelios to even like play the game, because you just have no front line. That's like basically like half Poppy and a little bit of Viego. So we'll see how it shakes out, but I favor Sac State in the draft at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think if Zyra is an enchanter, maybe the draft is a little bit different. They might be a little lacking on the magic damage, but just being able to protect the Aphelios, protect the Viego as like a secondary carry would probably be ideal.
And when you opt for the enchanter as well, you get kind of that peel I was talking about. There's protection for this Aphelios all of a sudden, and the game is a lot easier to play if you are the Aphelios, because that is a really tricky situation to navigate, having no peel on a champ like this.
Yeah, if Poppy's going to be the only one able to do it, and they're pretty much limited to having to play around TP or unleash teleport at 14 minutes, yeah, it could be a little rough.
They changed the spectator UI on this patch. My overlay looks like doo-doo now.
Oh, did they change the...
The Dragon and Baron counters did not used to be there. Great job, Riot Games. Does look pretty good. I did not do my homework, it seems. Doesn't look too terrible, but yeah, those of you watching at home, there is a dragon counter under my little scoreboards there.
A summoner has reconnected.
So it seems we're having some connection issues.
All kinds of pauses, yeah. I think I saw 2 DCs. Saw Bamo and Justin both get disconnected.
I believe the stream is still going through fine, but my stream is frozen. Okay, yeah, we're back at it. Hectic already, huh?
Ooh, I like this from Garrett and Venti.
This level 1 is lethal. Tristana with Hail of Blades at level 1 is a hell of a champ, and Nautilus is no slouch either. And then Aphelios is level 1. He's basically a paperweight. It's a good thing that they gave him the sniper gun early to give him that 650 range, because he does just about nothing at level 1.
I also like the Exhaust Ignite, so you could just look for First Blood right here.
It's going to land on a Simeon. Both exhausts going to come down, and the flash going to be forced out of Simeon right off the bat. A great start for Sac State's bot lane.
Exhaust being down and flash down on Simon is huge, because next time Venti and Garrett look for an engage, they're going to be able to do full damage.
Seeing Justin playing against Poppy is something else. This is the man's signature champion. You know, Mordekaiser's been more his signature champion as of late, but Poppy is an old classic for him. Already played it twice this year. So it's like playing against a mirror image or something. It's pretty crazy to see.
Yeah, I do think it might be a little rough early, just being able to use those grass procs with that shield. Justin is going to have to land every ability like he just did. And look for dodging those. Look to dodge those stuns.
It is getting spicy up in this top lane. Viego's actually opted for an early reset here. He recalled there, bought boots for himself, and he is sprinting down toward bot lane. Bamo opting for a full clear from the top side down. Wants to get into proximity of this very volatile bot lane with the summoners burned on Simeon.
There's a pretty decent freeze potentially here in that bot side.
It's tricky. Really That's hard one of the pitfalls of Tristana. Kind of auto-push the wave regardless.
I do like the wave management from Colorado. Just respecting the heavy engage that Sac State has. We're looking to scale up with that bot side. But now the wave is bouncing back. On the wave ping is coming out. The Connor Speedwagon angle. Ghost is popped.
Could potentially be a free kill. Yeah, no flash available out of Simon. They're just going to kill him. Space Cowboy's flash actually going to be forced out as well, thinking that the Hecarim E was going to be onto him. But you know Sac State's going to be looking for that no flash target, and that's going to be an easy first blood over to Bamo's Hecarim.
And I mean, it was pretty tragic for Colorado seeing Space Cowboy use the flash there, expecting Hecarim to oop in the mid lane.
CBJ sandwiches into the mid lane. The stun going to land on XPNX after the flash. And that is going to be a trade kill picked up for Gordo Ultimate on this LeBlanc. And you hate to see early kills going over to a LeBlanc lane. Could be very deadly.
Yeah, unfortunately, XPNX did use the flash there, so it's going to have to play and his TP is coming out as well. So incredibly careful play, coming back with just the Amp Tome and the boots.
And of course, in this lane, the onus is on the LeBlanc side of the matchup to get involved, get those kills early, because the scaling is just overwhelmingly in favor of the Victor.
Good crash from Justin. Bam was in the area too.
This
Wonder if they're
could
looking for a
be
dive.
Flash is available for Ye is God, and level 5 Poppy not the easiest to dive for this duo. So just going to be some camps taken away for Bama.
PBJ Sandwich trying to sneak in, but
That was an interesting one.
yeah, maybe he was just trying to provide pressure so they could get the wave crashed and then look for this Drake maybe. Because they do know that Gord Ultimate is coming back to lane with more gold, likely, thanks to that kill than XPNX had. You can see XPNX recalling right now, likely trying to kind of play catch up with the overall gold spent. Maybe not. Never mind. I'm just trying to big brain this.
I think you're right. I think that would have been a very good play to make. Maybe they just didn't feel that the agency that they were granted from the bot lane prior was going to last through the entire dragon take. Or maybe just an oversight. Maybe they didn't know where Bama was. There's a myriad of reasons why they might not have gone for that, but I do think it was a good play. Bama looking bot again. Garrett's flash going to be burned right off the bat. Simeon has the exhaust down from Venti. Going to be picked up by Bama again. Venti's got another jump reset, just going to get some damage down onto Space Cowboy. As PBJ is into the top lane.
Ooh,
Justin going to be able to dodge out of all of the Viego damage there by ulting onto Ye's God. And he is up a level here. Definitely getting the better of the trade. At level 4 and level 5 against level 6 Justin. This is a raid boss. You just don't have the damage to take him down.
No grievous wounds come in yet. That Conqueror is going to do a lot of work. Poppy's really good with grasp on those short trades. Just kind of throwing that shield, but I mean in a long extended trade, it's going to go Mordekaiser's way.
Oh yeah, as soon as that passive comes up, it is a lot of pain going down.
Huge answer from Sac State, seeing that PBJ Sandwich is in that top side. They take that first Mountain Drake. The second Drake on the map, what are we looking at? Cloud, so potentially Infernal, Ocean, or Hex Tech, I believe, as the souls. All of which I think are pretty good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, actually, Gord Ultimate's not really doing much with that advantage they secured early.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, the XP seems very comfortable in this lane, as we may have a solo kill. Attempting to flash behind the Keeper's Verdict there was Justin, going to get knocked up by it anyway. The hitbox does extend a little bit around and behind Poppy as well, so probably just did not get quite far enough over it, as Bambo is into PBJ's jungle. And with Ye's God chunked incredibly low, it looks like this may just be PBJ going down to Bambo. It's going to be close. Looks like he will make it out of the tower. As Sac State's bot lane getting aggressive onto Simeon. No flash available yet again, and Bama will actually die to the tower.
Nice. Good execute from the side of Sac State. Big aggression. Simon had both summoners up and still wasn't going to be able to get away from the Garrett Venti combo. Meanwhile, it looks like Gordo Ultimate was able to pick off XPNX in that mid lane.
I missed that.
We're talking about not. Yeah, it looks like we were talking about not really pushing that advantage, and of course, when the camera's not on, Gordo's looking aggressive.
The old caster curse.
So it looks like the Lost Chapter is finished for XPNX. So we'll see if maybe that'll kind of help out balancing the wave a little bit more. But he's still a little ways away from that Crown of the Shattered Queen, which is going to help a lot for overall survivability.
Definitely. And I failed to mention it in Champ Select too terribly much, but Ye's God has certainly been the focal point of this team throughout the season. He has been the surrogate for most of their wins. Most of their good plays is, hold on here, we're into the Shadow Realm, and Justin is just beating him down. Could be a kill. Oh, going to be able to flash out of the last Q that I'd imagine would have been death for the poor man.
XP's flash, I think, just came up.
Yeah, not gonna.
But it looks like he doesn't need it.
Caught up there. Yeah, seeing Yi has got on this Poppy pick kind of odd since he's been, you know, known to play more the split pushers, the more carry type of champs. Seeing him on something a little more team utility based like the Poppy, certainly a divergence from what we normally see out of this team. Perhaps they choose to change that up in game 2 if they don't have success with this lineup.
Huge combo.
XP going to take a lot of damage indeed out of Gordo Ultimate there.
Like PBJ Sandwich might be trying to sneak that Herald. You see Bam on the boss, so yeah, it should be a pretty free pickup.
Oh, Simeon going to be hit up by the hook. No flash available for him.
Yeah.
The Zyra ulti going to do a lot of work, actually going to mean a trade kill onto Garrett's Nautilus.
Absolutely huge depth charge, following up that hook from Garrett there.
Kill did go over to Space Cowboy there. Fortunately for Northern Colorado, this Aphelios starved a farm, 0-4, and pretty safe to say very likely to be a non-factor throughout the rest of this game is Simeon.
Yeah, I mean, ooh, another fight topside.
Two beef balls beating each other up.
Justin does have that leeching lead. He does have a little bit of that Omnivamp. So that combined with the Conqueror, once it's fully stacked, it's going to provide a lot of healing. And Yee's God does not have that Bramble or anything.
We got PBJ looking on to Justin. The Keeper's Verdict going to keep him in place for a little bit. Viego Ultimate not quite going to finish off the kill. Justin is buying a lot of time. His team was up there to support as Gordo Ultimate going to pick up another solo kill for himself onto XP in the mid lane. Justin had the team around there, had Bambo in the area, had Garrett in the area, but Northern Colorado just able to close that little bit faster. Pick up the kill onto Justin.
Ooh, that's a lot of plants Garrett's had to walk into.
It is a lot of plants.
Luckily, the Riptide can be able to knock them all out. Man, Simon is just so far zoned in this 1v1 on that bot side. He can't even walk up to Venti.
It is so hard to play as an immobile AD solo lane against Tristana. She could just jump on you at any time. She does more damage than you at most points in the game. Very, very difficult. Maybe on even items and on red-white, Aphelios can go toe-to-toe, but it is just brutal playing against this champ as an immobile AD.
Big pings coming out. Drake is up. And Garrett has flash and depth charge, so...
It's gonna be a spicy
making
one.
It already. PBJ Sandwich here first, as is Gordo.
And he's got the Herald available.
Is actually, yeah, Colorado's pretty good position to take this Drake. But Stack State is not going to let him have it for free, no way. Or are they?
Oh, Bama wants it. He sprinted in there with the E and the Ghost on. XP just kind of hung out to dry there. Going to be able to get Simeon on the board as he picks up the kill onto XP. Bama dropping very low in the back of the fight, but so is PBJ. Simeon staying alive somehow. The red and white doing so much work for him. He's got about 1 billion chakrams, but is going to be taken down by Bambo's Hecarim. Health bar is dropping so incredibly low for both sides of this fight, but Bambo going to get the better of Northern Colorado, pick up 2 kills for himself.
Looks like that 4 for 1, or 3 for 1, sorry. And then Justin up top winning that 1v1.
Getting the solo bolo.
Get 4 for 1. Oh yeah. Shadow Queen finished for XP and X, so hopefully we won't be seeing the 100-0 that we were kind of worrying about for the last 10 or so minutes.
0-4 on this Victor pick. It's been a rough start to the game for XP and X for sure. Very nearly as rough as has been for Simeon down in the bot lane. So we'll see how these two players can kind of make the best of their situation.
Or both of them having that defensive item finish, that defensive mythic. Ooh, that's an interesting Herald drop.
Oh, not quite going to be canceled by the gravity field. That was actually pretty close. I have not seen a Rift Herald canceled after the changes to how long the channel takes, but we very nearly saw one there.
Poor Shelly not able to crash on that turret. Plates are dropping here the next 5 or so seconds. Tragic. I would really like to see that Herald drop earlier to kind of take advantage of plates in really any of the lanes, mid lane even earlier.
If you're Colorado there, you do pick up the dragon without needing to expend the Rift Herald, which is fine, but normally, you know, the play is to drop the Herald in mid or bot prior to the Dragon so that you guaranteed need to have somebody from the opposing team go answer it. You pick up the Dragon for free, and then you get out of there. They got the Dragon uncontested, but then Sac State sprinted in and cleaned up 4 of them. So it's like, you know, you got what you wanted initially, but then gave over 4 kills, of course, and maybe the Herald prevents that that backlash.
We'll say objective bounties are up. The gold lead is skewed a lot towards the side of Sac State. Looking at 5.5 or so gold. I mean, if they're able to take this next Herald here, or any of these outer turrets, we're talking about a lot of bonus gold potential.
So this was a Sac State pause. All I saw in the chat was sup issue, referring to Garrett. I don't think they're talking about his gameplay. He's looked pretty darn good so far.
To direct everyone to the items, I'm seeing 4 mythics for the side of Sac State and 1 mythic on the 1 in 5 Aphelios for the side
good
of Colorado.
for him. Big things. Let's go.
So a little concerning just on the overall power for the next, you know, minute or two until these champions can look to maybe finish those big core items. So, I mean, we'll see if anyone wants to prioritize the Herald. No towers are taken, so I mean, Shelly should be able to pretty easily crack any of these tier 1 towers.
Certainly. Bambo is all up in PB&J's jungle, but going to force his flash out of there as XP is there to assist. Gordo Ultimate in a pretty strong position, but hasn't spent a whole lot of his gold. No mythic completed yet, like you were saying. Oh my goodness.
Was that the mine?
That was the Tristana E. That was brutal. As there's the backlash from the pause going to hold us up for a second here. Bama going to be able to pick up the blue despite Gordo Ultimate's little half-hearted contest there.
You seen this Triforce pickup from the Viego?
I am now. I haven't seen it before. Oh, Venti's in 1v2. The exhaust going to go down, going to prevent the Gale Force out. And it's going to prevent so much damage. You got to remember the exhaust, such a potent summoner spell in those all-ins.
Colorado doing
Garrett going to Spider-Man out of there, but not out of Space Cowboy's route there. Bama's looking for this 1v4. Maybe just seeing back provides appeal for his boy, but he's dropping so low. The Viego ultimate just going to barely clip him.
That was a really big shutdown.
Oh, going to make it out, but a lot of Northern Colorado's team doesn't really care too much for walls. LeBlanc and Viego able to follow up that play quite easily.
Viego just picked up about 1,300 gold off of all those kills. One of the core carries for Colorado scaling, especially with that Triforce build. That's got me a little bit worried. I mean, the gold lead is still 4K, but I will say a Viego that's able to get multiple resets in a fight, especially with a champion like LeBlanc that can enable those resets, could be trouble.
Certainly could be scary. XP going to be forced to flash here. I think you're just dead either way. Going to be picked up by Gordo Ultimate there.
Gordo still doesn't have that Ludens yet. I mean, once that's finished, that's a lot of burst damage we're going to be looking at.
Definitely.
Explosive
charge used onto the tower. PBJ is in a position to take this duel. The rocket jump going to get Venti to safety, but not before he loses 2/3 of his HP to this Triforce Viego.
Is coming up. Justin doesn't have teleport. We'll see if he starts heading down. He has got doesn't either.
Oh, hook going to land onto PBJ. Bamo is in for the follow-up.
Ooh,
the onslaught of shadows going to provide the lockdown they need for Bamo to pick up his 6th kill of the game. He is huge on this Hecarim.
I've been seeing this answer a lot in the Big Sky Conference. Teams recognizing when they can't take objectives like Drake and opting for the Rift Herald, especially when they have the bounties. Because the Rift Herald is a bounty. It's another 100 gold for the team, I believe, or 500 gold. So 100 gold per person. And then if they can crash it into another turret, that's 50. So, I mean, plenty of gold in the pocket if they're able to grab this before Sac State make it up.
Definitely.
They are so slow going on this Herald.
And Sac State could be in a position to contest this. It looks like they will, in fact, be in a position to contest this. Locked up by the gravity field is Gordo Ultimate. Garrett going to pick up the first kill of the fight as Simeon is locked up, going to be able to get down a lot of damage before falling to XP and X. Bamo and Justin going to be bopped away. Venti and Garrett going to be left alone to finish off 3. Garrett going to fall to PBJ. PBJ's got the first reset. Bamo dropping incredibly low, going to go down. PBJ's got another ult onto Justin, but Justin is huge on this Mordekaiser. Could pop off for the team here. Yi is God going to be able to flash out of another one of the Mordekaiser Qs. Venti's got a jump in, but won't quite get him into range to finish off. Yi is God. That looks like it will be the end of the play. 3 for 3. And you know what? You're fine with an even trade if you're Northern Colorado in that situation. I don't recall who the Herald went over to. Oh, it looks like Justin has it, actually. So definitely a winning play for Sac State.
Yeah, I think I saw that Garrett actually stole the Rift Herald.
What a chat.
Somehow in there, and Justin's got it right now. So I'm not entirely sure how that happened, unless PBJ sandwiched. I don't have Smite, or was too busy focused on the fight, but unfortunate for Colorado, love to see it as a Sac State fan. But that fight did kind of showcase the Leandre's burn on Space Cowboy, kind of being able to throw those plants out, just kind of start keeping the burn alive, and then PBJ sandwiches resets. How that could kind of evolve as this game progresses.
Definitely.
You know, Bamo got the Muramana and the what's it called?
Turbo Chem Tank.
Turbo Chem Tank. Yeah, so
it goes by another name in Discord calls, and I struggle to remember the actual name pretty frequently.
Big Zoomies button.
Yep, that one.
But yeah, he's got all the buttons to go big zooms. Probably 100 to 0, a good number of members. Colorado.
3 Sac State members in the position. Hold to get onto you as God. The Depth Charge is going to lock up the kill. Venti going to pick that one up for himself. 4-1 and 8 on the Triss. Despite that little blunder that we had earlier, still putting up a great performance on this Tristana thus far. And they've got 4 strong in the top lane. No answer just yet. Northern Colorado is making the move over.
Next joining them. If he wasn't what felt like so far behind, I would like to see XP in the mid lane. Letting the Sac State 4-man kind of do their thing.
Hook lands onto Simeon. Huge for Garrett. The flash going to be forced out immediately. Exhaust is down onto Bamo, which will mean that he will have to turn tail and run on out of there. Gorder ultimate flashes in, but is going to find a hook to the face. XP going to pick up that kill for himself. Simeon hitting for what he can after expending the flash earlier on in the play. Not in a position to go too much further forward. Sac State limping out of there. Health bar is a little low, but 2 for 0.
Not too sure what Gorder Ultimate had planned there. If it was going to be like a double distortion with that ultimate combo, just try to do a bit of damage and get out. But you can't do that when Nautilus has a root on the auto attack, plus definitely. Even Shroud. Bamo trying to buy a little bit of time.
100
so
HP
low.
skirting around this Baron. Looks like Sac State won't have any problem picking it up, however. Nobody from Northern Colorado in the area to contest. Bamo going to claim it with a smite there.
We're looking at about a 9k gold lead now.
9k gold lead. That is not something you want to be staring down the barrel of.
2 items done for Venti. He's got the PD, Gale Force. He's fairly close to that Infinity Edge. Just need that Raptor Cloak and then a couple 100 gold more. Don't believe it'll be up. He'll have that though for this Drake fight, if Colorado wants to contest. God does have the TP. Everyone else is roughly in position.
PBJ will pick up the Rift, or the Rift Scuttler there. Provide a little bit of vision.
Ooh, Hex
for
Flash.
the side of Northern Colorado. Not going to be over the wall.
I respect it. If LeBlanc is seen over the, or was kind of out of vision, definitely don't want to really jump over that wall.
Oh, for sure.
That we've seen Garrett's depth charge and the hooks have just been huge in starting all of these fights.
Down 9k. I gotta imagine if this fight is at all clean for Sac State, that this could be very explosive.
Having the Baron buff should be able to clear out probably some of these inhib towers. Colorado's going to give it up, looks like. Respecting that gold lead. This will put... Oh! I respect the attempt. But yeah, Sac State on Soul Point. But we'll see if this game even goes that long. They still have a bit of time on that Baron buff. may be able to crack one of these inhib towers. Oh my god.
Ooh, XP
damage.
has scaled. Just crowns all you need.
Oh yeah. He's so close to Shadow Flame too. Like once he finishes that, he's gonna be doing so much damage. In that bot lane. It's pulling 2. This is huge. Zack State's 4 members strong in that mid lane. Oh.
You're into the Death Realm. Gordo ultimate gonna do what he can to skirt around Justin
Garrett.
on the Mordekaiser.
Huge flash hook.
That boy is good.
Garrett is definitely not one to ever hesitate at pulling the trigger. This is why we love seeing him on these engaged champions.
Oh, not the 200 years old T you're used to seeing. This Viego is, or excuse me, this Aphelios is poor. Not putting out the one-shot Inferno multis you're used to seeing.
Still working on that collector. Still hasn't finished his boots. It's a tough time.
Ooh, you want to talk about poor? He's got brown
game.
paper bags on his feet. This is poverty for Northern Colorado's AD carry.
It's actually Space Cowboy's pretty close to catching up to like Simeon's gold value overall.
Oh my!
It's definitely a tough game.
Yeah.
No major objectives are up. Baron, I believe that buff has died down at this point. We'll see if anyone wants to look for any potential picks, or if they're just going to kind of play the 1-3-1 side laning game.
With how strong Justin is on this Mordekaiser, you certainly can play that way. Oh, we're in on a PBJ. Depth charge going down. Garrett going to lock up 2. Gordo going to be able to get out of there with the distortion. Justin's got a little bit of a flank here. Maybe not quite strong enough to take on 3 at once there in the jungle.
Simeon does have pretty heavy pockets right now. 2K. Hopefully he's communicating that to his team, letting them know that I think that should be collector gold. And he has red and white, so this could be really big for the side of Colorado.
Definitely.
Oh my! Oh. That mind,
timing his distortion with the explosive charge explosion for Venti, going to take most of his health is Gordo ultimate. Inhibitor number 2 going to fall for Sac State.
I mean, buddy, you need to spend that gold. There it is. Oh, LDR is the angle. Okay.
I like that a bit better here. I do like that a bit better.
Plenty
At this
of
point, Sac State's got a lot of armor and health.
Ooh. Red and white ultimate.
Whoa!
Ended. I don't know
about the flash in. For Simeon going to be picked up by Venti at the start of the play, and Sac State just wipes Colorado right at the beginning. I'll tell you what, they went in there, they went 5 strong, they really went for it. There was definitely no lack of commitment from that play. You got your 80 carry flash again first, but
you cannot
not
jump into
quite
this.
enough.
Cannot jump into this 5-man.
Oh, absolutely
Sac
not.
State, that's just a meat grinder at this point with the gold difference.
And brilliantly played for the side of Sac State, taking them down in 26 minutes, 48 seconds. Our boys looking very, very good today. We're glad to see it. So we'll be getting into game 2 shortly. So everybody, please do stick around, spam this plate for Sac State, all that good stuff, and we will be back with you shortly.
sit up, hey. You sit up, hey. You sit up, hey. You sit up, hey. You. Sit up, hey. You sit up, hey. You sit up, hey. You like the cool blue light, like the cool blue light, like the cool blue light. Like the cool blue light, like the cool blue light, like the cool blue light.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game 2 of today's series. This time around, Northern Colorado has elected to flip over to red side, perhaps give counterpick over to Yi is God. We were talking about last game, usually the high resource, high output player. Not really someone that you're used to seeing on a champ like Poppy, maybe looking to give him that R5 counterpick this game.
Yeah, we'll see how things shake up. I don't remember if they banned Gangplank in game 1, but they might be. Oh. Let's see if they're going to target Yi, just kind of get some of the picks out of the way.
Yeah, I know.
Or if they might be saving some.
Gangplank is a champ that he does play, that does draw bans occasionally. Swain, that's a big Space Cowboy champ, so seeing that off the table, definitely going to be directed at him, but I expect some more bans, potentially the... Oh, okay, so it's going to be Ezreal. This is a big one for this team, is the Ezreal 380 carry bans again. They're just going to keep trying. They're just going to keep trying to pinch Venti off of something. B1 Ari. I have not seen that yet. The champ with the buffs is pretty ridiculous. For those of you who have not had the misfortune of running into it in solo queue, this champ is a little insane right now. So definitely worthy of the B1s in terms of strength, but it is something that does have answers, such as the LeBlanc that Gordo Ultimate played last game. Veigar, not usually what you think of, but certainly a good champ in his own right.
Baby Cage can be less of a detriment and more of an annoyance for a mobile champion like Ari, but it does kind of cut off angles that you might be looking for to get in.
Mm-hmm.
It is also potentially a flex.
Ooh, I've never seen Simeon pick Zeri. Maybe they're looking to flex this. You do see it in the solo lane sometimes, but this draft is kind of hype already.
Yeah, I do love the potential double flex. They're in the top lane at or ADC, Veigar mid, or in that support position.
Oh, true. I didn't even mention that. I don't love Xayah into Zeri. I think it's pretty good. But my favorite pick into it personally. No. Cotter, it's so BM. It's so BM. Cotter, no, please.
Sac State's coach is molding right about now.
It's so BM. Okay.
No, they're
okay.
The
no Teemo
resident
today.
Teemo enthusiast is not going to have their way today.
Yeah, like I was saying, Xayah's pretty good in Azeri. My favorite matchup into it is actually Vayne. It is so easy to abuse this champ on Vayne, and Vayne matches the scaling very nicely. Janna, so now...
This is a triple flex.
I just talked about how good Yi is God on high resource sort of champs. And Zeri does very much like playing with Enchanter supports as opposed to melee supports or engage supports. She very much prefers having those supports that kind of play at arm's length and give her shields and stuff so that she runs really fast. So Janna definitely right up that sort of avenue. So I expect to be seeing it down in the bot lane just because of, you know, what we know about Yi is God as a player. I don't expect him to be pulling out the Janna Smite top. Was nerfed on this patch as well, so... doubtful, but could certainly happen. And it is a lot harder to draft against that strategy from blue side. I think Janna Smite top is pretty much a red side only strategy.
Yeah, Zach. No one from Sac State is buying that. I guess the Zeri is the top lane flex with the Fiora ban, or they may just be trying to take that off the table, knowing it's one of Yi's God's most comfortable picks.
Yeah, I would be throwing bans at top lane here regardless, because Colorado does have R5 here. They will guaranteed have a counter pick, and you know he's just the guy that they play through most frequently. So seeing the going in Fiora bans really doesn't surprise me at all. Even though they are kind of halfway showing Zeri flex, it is overwhelmingly 80 carries still, despite the fact that it can go into those other roles.
Yeah, I mean, I do like to see picks that can be flexed, but I mean, I guess they're going to hang on to that potential flex all the way to the end.
I hate Zach here. I think that champ is so bad here.
I do think Zach is going to be a little slow to react to either Rakan, actually any of these three means of engage. If RH chooses to engage, Rakan, or Hecarim, I think Zach's going to be a little slow on making it happen.
So
Zaya.
I can't believe they didn't ban that. I didn't even notice. They banned
Misfortune
and
in
that.
Yasuo.
What on earth? That is...
I think there may have been...
Northern Colorado's hands fell off, boys! Holy cow.
I think there may have been a Rakan Yasuo flex game, maybe, in the match history from Venti and Garrett, but yeah, I'm not sure why you leave the Xayah when Rakan is up. The Poppy Hover, we're going to go with Set.
I like Set here.
I
like Set better
They do
than
have the
Poppy
meatball in Zach to just kind of yeet him back in.
I think it's a safer blind pick than Poppy. Justin, of course, incredibly comfortable on the Poppy, but I think Set is a safer blind pick than Poppy. I think that Zach as your only Poppy value this game is a little sus.
Ooh.
So we'll see what the pickup is going to be.
Into Windermere.
It is going to be Tryndamere for Ye is God. Okay, so I still hate Zach here, but I get the comp at this point now. You play with a very strong split pusher. It's great to play a 3-man kind of core that has great kite back and peel and great wave clear. And you have the wave clear coming from Veigar. Zeri on a few items can eviscerate waves in her own right as well. You have Gianna for the peel, Baby Cage for the peel. Zeri runs 1,000,000 miles an hour and you can't catch her anyway. So it's a pretty solid comp to enable the Tryndamere to do whatever he wants in the side lane for the entire game. That said, though, I don't know what Zach does in this comp. I guess you kind of just sit on your back line and then just press R if Hecarim jumps in. That's about all you've really got.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's just more of a peel play style. I don't know if like Sejuani would do it better. I mean, Zach does tend to do more damage in general.
I can tell you who would do it better is Xin Zhao, who's a champ that we've seen be extremely, extremely prevalent. It opens up your early game a lot more. I would have liked that pick here a whole lot better. I would have liked even Lee Sin potentially. The kick is such a powerful tool. Lee Sin can peel, boys. He is not just a kick flash bot.
I'd noticed Gordo Ultimate is piloting Zeri. And Simeon is on the Veigar.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's a pivot to that Zeri mid or if they're lane swapping.
Right. And you know, interestingly, in the first game, I don't know if this was just a blunder from Northern Colorado and Champ Select, but Simeon was in the mid slot.
Yeah.
For their lineup. This game, he's in the 80 carry slot, but piloting Veigar. So I don't know. Last game, they kind of ignored the way that they were slotted. So we'll see. I wouldn't say that it's set in stone that Zeri is going mid or Veigar is going bot and vice versa. But it will definitely be Gordo Ultimate piloting the Zeri and Simeon piloting the Veigar. So we will see.
Yeah, it's a little odd, but I feel like Colorado's win condition is that Sac State all engage at once, blow all their abilities, and Janna and Veigar are able to peel, keep Zeri alive. If they stagger the engage, they're going to be forced to kind of use one tool after another to answer it. And really the only answers are Veigar, Baby Cage, and Janna Ultimate. Zach can potentially do the slingshot into the ultimate. That takes a little bit of time to wind it up. So as long as Sac State can maybe stagger their means of engage, or just kind of look for picks, look for more skirmishes, not full 5v5 team fights, they should be fine, because we know that's what our guys are best at.
And we've definitely got to keep an eye on this Tryndamere in the top lane, how that matchup is going, because it enables so much of what Northern Colorado seems to be wanting to do this game, having their Tryndamere ahead in the side lane, being able to provide that pressure so that Sacramento State is being pulled in multiple directions, can't deal with the split push. And then, you know, Northern Colorado's team, like you were saying, limited tools, but tools nonetheless. It could potentially be pretty difficult for Sac State to get onto them. You're going to want to see big lane advantages, hopefully, out of the mid and bot lane. You know, you do have winning matchups in both of those lanes. It should not be too hard to achieve that win condition. And then you want to see this top lane go even if you're Sac State. And I think you're sitting pretty if those three conditions are met.
Oh, yeah. I'm very interested to see how both sides are going to play this, because yeah, I mean, we could see Bamo kind of playing towards Justin early. We'll see if Garrett and Venti are going to be able to make an advantage in that bot side on their own. Usually they're pretty good about it, so I have full faith that they'll be able to do that, win the 2v2. But on the other hand, getting an engage as Rakan onto a Veigar Janna feels like it's really tough.
Definitely could be very tough. But you know what, though? So much comfort drafted overall for this team. You got Bamo's signature Hecarim. You have Garrett on his signature Rakan. You know, you've got the Zaya. Venti's one of his best champs paired with the Rakan, of course, a potent pairing there in their own right. So I expect that they'll be used to these situations, and they know that they have the tools, the skill, all of that to deal with it, to play this game out. We'll see. These two teams match up incredibly interestingly this time around. Really enjoying the draft this game.
I feel like the cleanse is interesting on Simeon. Unless he is actually going in the mid lane. If he's going bot lane with cleanse, seems kind of odd. If it's mid as an answer to like the Ahri charm, that makes plenty of sense to me.
Yeah, bot lane you'd be looking to cleanse out of Zaya Blade Collar, and that's kind of it. The Rakan knockup, you cannot cleanse Flash out of knockups anymore. That was removed about a season ago. The quickness, of course, can be cleansed out of, but you know, with Baby Cage, I'd imagine if you're going bot lane, you're going to be prepped for that one.
My.
PBJ looks quite caught. He has gotten Gordo R into assist. The blobs, of course, would have come out if they do decide to aggress onto the Sac any further. Sac State still going forward. Gordo looks caught now. Flash going to be forced out by Garrett. The set slam going to find some damage, but he's going to find a lot of damage in return. Is Justin going to be forced to flash out of there? The Ghost is popped for Yi is God, looking to chase down XP and X. The Charm going to cancel out. The little Tryndamere spinning slash there.
Oh. Huge tornado on the way out, too.
So just some Summoner's Burn. The Ghost out of Yi is God, you know, Ghost is an incredibly short cooldown summoner spell, so he'll have that back up pretty shortly. But the Ghost cheeses for Tryndamere top lane is some pretty nasty stuff. So good to not have that available for Justin.
We'll say Janna did have to burn the exhaust.
Oh, that's true. Where else did we
and
have
our bot
Summoners
side?
Blown? Let's see. So Zeri Flash blown. XP Flash blown. So no flash on either of the mid laners, no flash on Justin, which could be frightening. But like I said earlier, no Ghost on Yi is God as well. So it is going to be the Veigar bot lane. I just noticed that. But Zyra Khan, some nasty stuff. You are not going to get to contest this wave as this bot duo. Charm landing for XP. So much damage down on the Gordo.
Oh, the
Ignite
healing
is down for XP. He's got the autos in. One more will do it. No flash on the Zeri. Going to be first blood over to XP and X on this Ahri pick. Huge stuff.
Wow. Simeon totally respecting Garrett's Rakan on that second engage, lashing away. Not trying to take any risks there.
Oh, yeah. With level 2 coming in for this bot duo as well, it could be curtains if you get locked up by either the Blade Collar or the Grand Entrance.
Oops, sorry, I think I misspoke. I said Simeon. It was Space Cowboy flashing.
Right.
Sac might be looking for something here. Knowing XP doesn't have flash.
Yeah, no need to stand up there and get right up in the tower. If you're XP and X, you can just back off of there. Play going to fizzle out.
He's got that rage bar. Oop, just kidding. Not looking to hold on to that for anything cheeky, I guess.
He did take a pretty poor trade just before we panned up to him. Justin going to be able to get an E onto him again.
In general, there's always that risk factor. It's the you play that dangerous game. Do you want the heal? Or do you want to hang on to that crit in AD?
Well, no flash on Space Cowboy. The Baby Cage is going to lock up Garrett. He is going to take the bad end of the trade that time around.
And that's kind of the matchup how I was expecting the matchup to go. If Garrett ever looks for an engage, and Simeon and Space Cowboy kind of layer their CC, makes it really hard for Venti to follow up and for Garrett to get out.
Mm-hmm. Primo's into the mid lane, just kind of sitting around, loitering a little bit. Space Cowboy locked up, Ignite is down. Garrett going to pick up another kill onto Space Cowboy. Simeon, Flash still available, Cleanse still available, going to be able to get on out of that one. But Sac State's bot lane going to be able to pick up a kill despite the, you know, champion interactions maybe being pretty positive for Colorado. And Bama's looking for a dive on Simeon. Both sums are available, but he is just going to... What? was that flash?
At that point, you just kind of hang on to your summoners. You kind of have to admit to yourself, okay, I'm pretty much dead here. Oh,
Okay.
my eyes.
Getting aggressed on into Justin in the top lane. Looks like the less than stellar elastic slingshot will not matter, as he is God going to get himself accelerated on this Tryndamere, pick up a kill for himself.
And we can kind of take a look at that CS difference with these top laners. He is God basically up 2 kills with the CS difference and that kill he got just now.
Gordo is really low, sitting under the tower here. PBJ going to be in there to back him up, but Bambo is in for the dive onto Gordo. He's got no flash available still. The Ignite is down for XP, going to be able to pick it up. It's a bit of an awkward situation there where XP had no mana available to push the wave in to be able to let Connor pull off that dive, but ended up working out in the end.
Bambo's got the go button. He's going to hit it, especially when someone's that low on health under tower. Really love to see the aggressive plays coming out of Sac State. That's 2 tower dives in, like, what is that, a minute and a half?
Yeah, you love to see it. These winning lanes, it's 2 of the conditions I was talking about. You got some pretty nice looking score lines on all but your top laner here.
No, and all the top lane isn't terrible. I feel like the set Tryndamere matchup, you have to have the camera panned on it pretty often just to kind of check for those random crits, because that's usually how the lane ends up going his way. That Definitely. And then the jungle pressure, Zach showing up there.
Well, we have been panned up there. It doesn't look like Justin is by any means out of this one yet or anything like that. But if you're Northern Colorado, you're really happy with how your Tryndamere has started this game thus far.
Oh, yeah. Like there's any major priority on Drake stacking for Sac State. It's a Cloud Drake, the move speed's fine, and Hecarim obviously loves it, but it's not super key.
Charm landing onto Gordon with the mid lane. Ari does a lot of damage, going to take half his health bar. There is Gordo ultimate. Keep it up in CS all right in this matchup, despite 2 early kills going over.
At least spawning in a minute. We'll see if there's any priority towards that as far as getting plate gold into anyone's pockets, potentially Yeast on that Tryndamere. If Colorado is really looking to kind of put all their eggs in the Tryndamere basket.
You know, both teams do have really strong scaling. Like Vagar, incredible scaler, Zeri, incredible scaler, and then Zaya, incredible scaler. It's, you know, maybe both teams are kind of thinking maybe not the highest priority on Dragon in the world since the comp's scaling is so great. You know, the comps that usually look to prioritize that Dragon very early on and get that soul going are the teams that need soul to kind of bridge that gap if the game goes late, as the Elastic Slingshot going to land on XP in the mid lane, but he's got the Ari dashes to get out of that one. Ultimate pop for Gordo, ultimate, the flash in, going to force XP's flash out of there, but the Onslaught of Shadow is going to pick up Gordo ultimate. Bama going to claim that one for himself as the bot lane has made their way into mid here. Looks like that will be priority onto the Dragon for Sac State.
Fueled up, ready to go once again for the aggressive plays. 2-0 on the Hecarim, in a position to carry once again.
Bot lane may have overstayed just a bit here. The Baby Cage going to lock up Bambo, but not before he can get the charge off there. Simeon going to be locked up by the Grand Entrance and taken down. Connor claiming his 3rd.
They are really looking to bully PBJ Sandwich here. Even though all Bama really has is those Boots of Lucidity and a tier.
He doesn't care. He's in there. He's about it. He's getting involved.
Connor and comms. I am speed. Pretty much. Looks like Sac State should be able to pick up this Drake for free.
Yeah, you have PBJ on a reset there. You do have the bot lane picking up a wave down in bot, so no immediate contest going to come out. Just going to be picked up for Sac State. Start the Dragon stack.
Is Ocean. So we've got a couple options. I mean, if it's Mountain, it's a little bit of a boring one, but the other 2 souls are pretty spicy in the Infernal or Hex deck.
Definitely.
We do see Yi going for that invade, looking to take away that Gromp.
Looks like he's starting to open up this matchup a little bit. The actual champion interactions is hold that thought. XP going to be forced to use the Ari dash immediately, but going to be locked up and taken down. Gordo Ultimate going to get one back for himself, 1 and 3. But the Ignite is down, going to cut down through a little bit of that Monsoon healing. Bamo just in there to kind of say hi, dissuade the play.
And the blue buff. Taking away Bamo's entire top side.
Yi's God set up pretty well this game. Could have the spinning slash over the wall here to pick up the kill onto Garrett. Grand Entrance is going to be forced out immediately, going to have to flash out of the elastic slingshot. And the final dash going to get into Bamo.
Yeah, Grand Entrance, grander escape there from Garrett.
Definitely.
Definitely just kind of slipping out of there. As Rakan knows how to do it.
And Yi's got able to pick up those 2. Oh, Baby Cage going to miss Venti there. Yeah, Yi's got beginning to abuse his sort of state in the game a little bit. Up 30 CS and a kill on Justin here. You know, hasn't resulted in any big item purchases yet, as we see 2K sitting in his pockets at the current moment. Going to likely be able to recall next time around for a full Gale Force and going to be in a position to exert a whole hell of a lot of side lane pressure here.
One thing I don't know how I didn't catch this earlier in the game. Simeon opting for the Predator. Something you tend to see on like a support Veigar or like a mid lane Veigar that likes to roam a lot. Oh no.
Oh, Space Cowboy is dead on my screen.
See you, Space Cowboy.
Kill over for Venti. Going to force the teleport out of Gordo Ultimate as well. There's the Predator!
Take this Predator.
Predator's
Not
into
gonna matter.
a Blade Collie. Oh, Venti's going lethality! Okay. Okay, I should have known from when he locked in Airy, but as Onslaught of Shadows landing onto Gordo Ultimate, the E over the wall going to be just followed by Ari's own dash. XP grabbing himself his second. Yeah, when you see Airy on Xayah, there's a lethality kind of Q Blade Caller one-shot build that's been going around for a couple years here. It's an Eclipse Rush. It looks like Venti's opting for that one this game. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, no real tanks besides PPJ Sandwich, who hasn't really been doing much this game. 2 KP, got 100% KP, but he's not been clearing any camps. Well, Bamo's got a good amount of KP and has just been kind of clearing his camps on repeat.
Yeah, you see the top lane CS pretty much equalized by the jungle difference there. 33 in favor of Bamo, down to 31 now as soon as I say that, and then 29 in the top lane there.
Herald coming down. Mid lane turret.
Yeah, I do like the lethality Xayah this game. It's really hard to stand and hit against this NCU lineup, so it makes sense.
Just looking for that really quick 1-2 punch. Feather auto, or what is that? Throw the 2 feathers, auto attack, and then Blade Caller for maximum damage.
And it is indeed a lot of damage. I remember running into this in one of my normal games for the first time a couple years ago and just getting chain one-shot by it on repeat, and it was a horrible time. XP looking for a solo kill for himself. Simeon is very low. Charm hits. Lights out.
Definitely not having a great series. On this game as the Vega, or last game as the Aphelios. Big stun topside.
He, of course, going to have the Undying Rage available if this trade goes for too long. Justin just going to kill himself. Gotta respect that Tryndamere ultimate.
XP has all the cooldowns up, so do Garrett and Bamo.
Oh, Charm going to miss, but I don't think it's going to matter with so much follow-up coming through. Gordo ultimate going to be picked up by Bamo there. 4 kills on this Hecarim for Bamo.
I do like the communication. I'm not necessarily using too many major cooldowns on that. Bamo hanging on to that onslaught. The Onslaught of Shadows. Yeah.
That's right. Fountain Soul, the boring one, as you so eloquently put it earlier on.
It does make any of the, like Venti, who's already pretty tough to pin down, more difficult to kill. Same thing for XP&X. All the slippery squishy members are harder to kill, and all the beefy boys are a bit tougher. If Saxator will pick up this soul, but yeah, it is a much more boring soul than the two alternatives we could have had.
I know we saw flashes traded by both top laners there. Justin abusing the Undying Rage cooldown was in a position to potentially get a solo kill onto He Is God there. So Flash going to be forced away from him. Likely not to change the state of this top lane too terribly much.
Bounties. See if they're going to be able to do anything with that. If they want Yi to be in another lane, he's already taken that tier 1 top side. Oh, Venti pushing away 2 members, even though PBJ Sandwich is right there. Could be trying to maybe bait.
Look at the level lead in this bot lane. Level 10 on Venti to the 8 of Simeon.
Yeah, ooh. Huge Everfrost.
Oh, Everfrost hitting onto Space Cowboy. Simeon going to respond with an Everfrost of his own, but not before XP&X's Ignite claims himself the kill.
XP&X looking way more comfortable on the RA into that Zeri matchup than he did on the Victor.
Yeah, standout performance here from XP&X.
Mm-hmm.
Justin likely to die from this one, I am afraid.
Doesn't even need the Undying Rage. Meanwhile, Sac State. Justin getting the direst treatment, kind of forced to deal with that 1v1 on the top side, but Sac State making plays. Grabbing objectives.
If you wanted an interesting game, this is pretty similar to how you wanted this one to play out. Big fat lead for Yi Is God in the top lane. The team not holding on quite as well as you would have hoped for. Not in a position to match his pressure in any way with the huge gold leads for the opposing members of Sac State. So we've got a bit of an engage here around the river. PBJ going to be rooted up. Oh, the baby cage going to force the flash out of XP&X there. Oh, Charm going to land on the Simeon. He's going down. XP's got 5.
Okay, it's looking.
This is on. The flash in. Going to pick up Gordo Ultimate, Space Cowboy. The Monsoon going to keep him safe for a moment. The Ignite is ticking. That will be Zanya's out of. Justin's got a great flank. Going to be able to pick up Gordo Ultimate there as PBJ is bouncing on out of there. Bambo's got the go button, though.
Interrupted.
The Elastic Slingshot going to be interrupted by the charge from Hecarim. He is just barely going to make it out of there with the help from the Chilling Smite. And Sac State has their sights set on this mid inhibitor tower.
You're really just proving to be really useless in the situation where Sac State is choosing not to play that 1-4 instead of grouping his 5 for major objectives. Junior can't even walk into this. Once again, it's pretty much a meat grinder.
I think here, that last little minute sequence that you saw is just Northern Colorado overplaying what this comp needs to do. All you have to do is not die and wave clear if you are anybody but Yi Is God. And if you're Yi Is God, your job is to exert as much pressure onto the top side of the map as possible. That's what sets this team up in a position to win. You have flashes traded onto Simeon in the mid lane, and then he takes the greedy path, walks right in front of Sac State's mid outer, going to take a turn to the face and die, which, you know, cascades into the whole rest of the team dying. Justin gets a great flank off, and that's exactly what Sac State is looking to do here, and exactly what Northern Colorado should be looking to avoid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why Simeon is taking Predator and wasting flash to...
Oh, Justin's got PBJ over the wall, going to get on over that little mid wall, though. Get out of that situation. The Bloblets were available, but I'd imagine if he doesn't get over the wall there, he is a goner. As we have a pause here. Connor crashed, it would seem.
Connor crash. New Twitch emote.
I like that one. It's not bad.
Gordo did have TP available, the Unleashed Teleport. So could have potentially TP'd to the Bloblets, but I mean, with every member of Sac State being there, I don't know if they had that intel. At least 3 members visible on the map. Could have been a little int.
but Connor has reconnected. I'd imagine we're going to be getting back into the game shortly. And then shortly afterwards, we will have the obligatory spectator bug where it pauses for a little bit after a pause.
I just take a little overlook on the state of the game. We still do not see a Mythic coming from Space Cowboy. I'm not sure if it's going to be Shirelia's. Actually, some R's coming out in chat. But Shirelia's likely to play just to kind of help the team continue to kite backwards. Hopefully we don't see Simeon looking for any more aggressive Predator plays. And just kind of play these fights a lot more slowly.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Definitely would prefer to see Shirelia's. I think that enables what this team, again, should be looking to do. Not seeing so much of it as we have all of these crazy aggressive pick plays coming out. It's just not what this comp is built to do.
Do have 19 stacks on XPNX's
19 pages in the book for the boy. He's making the most of this pop-off game. He's playing so well on this RE XP, looking great for Sac State.
One more takedown, he will have a full completed autobiography ready for print, and ready to throw into the archives. The big 2 core items for Bama are done. So ready to see the Muramana Chem Tank charge in. Ghost, and I don't believe is up. So it might be a little bit harder. He won't be quite as fast, but
definitely
with all the engaged tools Sac State has, it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
And I mean, with the lead that he has secured for himself thus far, it's not likely to make too big of a difference against most of these members. There we go. Officially back in.
Sac State in the position to grab this Drake. PBJ Sandwich is going to have to reset. Is definitely going to be late. Coming to this. I don't think they can contest it.
Likely not. The fight would certainly be suicide. You do have a little bit of top lane pressure coming out, but it comes just a little bit too early. You can see the answer from Sac State sending 2 members up there to deal with it now. Just a bit prior to the Dragon coming up. And actually, they will be late. Stuck around perhaps a little bit too long.
And even though it's a 4v3, I don't know if Colorado wins this.
Colorado is just down so much. Charm going to miss on the E. He's got in the top lane. So now, crucially, they know Ari is top. They could potentially look to take this fight. Zai going to be able to pick up the Dragon. Connor is in with the onslaught. So much damage!
Feather Blade Caller.
Oh my word, Venti's flashing it. He's got 1. He's got 2. Could this be the 3rd? It's a triple kill for Venti. It's a quadra kill for Venti as soon as he picks up the bloblets here. Unbelievable. Garrett claimed it. Just kidding.
Garrett scam.
Humongous damage from Venti Zaya. The Featherstorm into Blade Caller combo, basically one-shotting 4 members of Northern Colorado. And I guess that's one way to play it. You just win the fight 3v4.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't even close to Venti's final form. He's got 1 item and like 2 components, basically. He's so close to what is likely the LDR. He's so close to the Muramana. I mean, once he gets both of those items, it's...
I bet you he goes Cyrilda's. I bet you that's Cyrilda's second.
You think it's Cyrilda's Grudge?
Yeah. He's got the double longsword, so it would be... because the LDR recipe is just a crit cloak after the last whisper, so probably Cyrilda's. On to Baron for Sac State. So now Lethality Zaya does not shred Baron in the same way that Crit Zaya does, but the damage looks like it is coming through nonetheless. Baron taking quite a bit of damage, but get just in there, have him take the brunt of it for a little bit, and this should be a Sac State Baron. Mid-tower trade going to be the call for Northern Colorado, it looks like. They will be able to pick it up. Little bounty going over to them.
Finally, we got Yi in a different lane. Trinimir's trying to be split push king. It's tough to do when the other tier 1 turrets are up. So typically you want to put him into one of those other side lanes. Or the side lane that has the furthest turret still standing.
Definitely.
In this case, the bot lane T1. And he should be able to take this, but Sac State are going to take that inhib.
Colorado is on a reset. They're just going to give up their mid inhib for free. 4 members going to make it back. The Rift Herald is down. Sac State might be looking to end the game here. The Grand Entrance going to miss, but the Onslaught of Shadows going to find its mark in on the Simeon. He's going to fall. PBJ Sandwich in with the last bounce, but he is dropping very low, going to go down. And the showstopper going to bring the members out from under the tower. Yee's got his hitting for what he can. He's got a lot of damage, but the exhaust going to go down. XPNX going to be picked up by the Gale Force, but not after he picks up a triple kill. And the game for Sac State. GG 2-0 Sac State, ladies and gentlemen.
What a game. What a game for Sac State. Plains. That one for the Colorado didn't play and just kind of playing their game.
Yeah, our boys looking so good today. Bouncing back off of that tough loss last weekend to Northern Arizona University.
Sit up, yeah. You sit up, yeah. You sit up, yeah. You sit up, yeah. Like the cool blue light, 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 like the cool blue light.
All right, and we're back here. We got the interview with Brandon, XPNX Co. after Sac State's decisive 2-0 win against Colorado. How are you feeling after the win today?
Feeling pretty good after last week's loss. It was kind of unfortunate last week that we had to face against them. They just drafted better than us.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a tough match. It was definitely tough on the cast, but I'm glad to see you guys coming in strong in today's series. Overall,
Yeah,
we kind of saw you playing two different champions, two completely different play styles, basically. Victor in that first game, that slow scaling inevitability, and then we saw you playing Ari in game two drastically different performances. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I haven't really like played much control mages during my like career as a League of Legends player, so I normally just play like a lot of assassin picks, or it's where I feel most comfortable with.
Gotcha. We can definitely see that. I think you ended up with the 20 page.
I did, and then the
20-page book.
Trinity flashed on me.
Yeah. So incredibly impressive performance on the Ari. Would love to see you on the more aggressive champions, really kind of enabling Garrett and Bamo also to play around you, rather than being kind of forced to play around Venti on that bot side in that early game. Overall, is there any particular aspect of the team as far as drafting and comp and playstyle that you've noticed that you guys are kind of aiming for this semester?
I think our comms are getting better every week. I think we're trying to figure out what we're good at still, and once we get comfortable, we're probably just gonna hopefully get that rematch on NAU and sweep them.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for you guys to get that rematch, to get that vengeance. With the mindset